Let's talk about the Ford Ranger. I'm excited, folks. We've got the all-new Ford Ranger finally coming to the North American market. Yes, big win there. So let's cover a lot of what we need to know. Let's play a little catch up when it comes to the Ford Ranger. What do I know? What's the insider talk? I've got some of that. I've got some really, intelligent speculation, some also factual insider talks. I want to share that all with you. First of all, for quite a while now, there was talk when they talked about this at Ford, talked about this in Las Vegas. There was talk about a six-cylinder coming to the Ranger. Now, it could just be as simple as only being available on the Raptor. So that's a 3-liter V6 twin-turbo engine. Very cool, very powerful. You currently have it on the Explorer ST, and it's the standard engine on the Aviator, and it flies in the Explorer. So imagine how it's going to be in this Ranger. It's going to be a blast. And not a blast from the past. It's going to, because, in the past, vehicles felt really, really quickly because they made so much tire noise and engine noise, but they actually weren't that fast. At least not standard pre-modification from factory. They weren't that fast. This is going to be very fast. It sounds incredible, but is it going to be made in China? And, there's a few, different things that people are maybe worried about. But just to finish up about this six-cylinder talk, is it kind of sounded like the six-cylinder would be optional. That it'd be an optional engine. Sometimes optional engine means your option is go buy the Raptor. But to me, optional engine means I think there's good chances that we're going to have this available, a six-cylinder, not that six-cylinder, but a six-cylinder available on another Ranger. I know that wouldn't put it on my buy list for sure. I like the 2.3-liter, and the Ford Ranger is almost guaranteed to come back with the 2.3-liter engine. It's been a good engine. It's a reliable engine. It first came out in the Ford Mustang and Focus RS, and in the Focus RS, people go wild for it. They're saying it's an incredible engine. Then it goes in the Ranger, and people have sometimes lost a bit of excitement for the engine. They're not as excited about it as they are for the Ford Ranger. It's also the base engine, the standard engine on the Ford Explorer, and it moves the Explorer quite well. I love how the Ford Explorer Timberline drives. I love how it looks. I love how it drives. So the Ranger 2.3-liter does the job. It does a great job in the Bronco as well. But I think we've got good chances of seeing a six-cylinder. Now, twin turbo outside of the Raptor. Now, speaking of other things that have 6 in front of them, I'm still wondering, are we going to get a 6-foot box? I'm sure a lot of us, most of us, saw those spy photos from Ford Authority that was shared quite a while ago, but I definitely remember seeing what really looked like a 6-foot box. If so, this is going to be a huge sales success. And I usually agree with everything that Ford Authority does, except when they just said that the Ford Ranger, the current model, they kind of described it as being a huge flop this year. So, and I disagree. And they said they're calling it kind of like I can't remember the exact wording, but basically saying that it's, the current model isn't that great because it's lagging behind in sales. It's lagging behind. The Ford Ranger this year is lagging behind in sales because Ford gave us all what we asked for. Build less Rangers so you can build more Broncos. They're building about 3,000 of these per month when they're building, let's say, roughly 12,000 Broncos. They're not building them 50-50. They're building way more Broncos because they know we're hurting for Broncos. So that's why the Ford Ranger is slumping in sales. It's not a loser model, the current model. Does it look as good as the new model? Well, yeah, of course most of us prefer the look of this new model. We've been waiting for it. Wanting it.
It looks more like the Maverick, yeah.
It looks more like
square.
Yeah, it's a mixture between the Maverick and the Ford F-150.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great look because before it was more round and I'm searching the word, but it was falling in the front.
Slanted.
Yeah.
It had a bit of a
too much.
a a beak nose. You know, it's slanted
Yes,
in the
that's
front on the sides and going down.
So I love it more than the one before.
You're liking the squared off look?
Yeah, it makes me think of the Maverick a lot.
I'm liking the side steps on the back bumper here. I think that's very useful. I'm loving these tow hooks. Toyota, why don't you have tow? Why do you? I don't know why Toyota is always trying to avoid tow hooks. Their name, it's almost Toyota. They almost have the word
This is not how it works.
They almost have the word toe in their name, but well, yeah, I guess their name starts with the word toy, and their trucks are kind of more toy when they don't have these all-important tow hooks. So Toyota, you can't call yourself Toyota. You can continue calling yourself Toyota, because a truck with no tow hooks is a toy. And you can't go off into a farmer's field, and you know, if you're trying to work the fields, you know, what happens when you get stuck? What happens when other people get stuck or machinery gets stuck? You need tow hooks. Come on. Toyota. Smarten up, throw toy hooks on things. The Ranger, they're throwing it all over the place. The Bronco, it's just like, Bronco? Heck, I think Oprah was on the design team for the Bronco, because it was like, you get tow hooks and you get tow hooks, and look underneath your seat, you also got tow hooks. Everyone gets toy hooks. Woo! That is the Bronco design team right there in a nutshell. Oprah came in that day and worked her magic. And speaking of fun, ladies, we got Lily here who needed a bit of attention. So let's continue talking. Now that she got what she needed, let's continue talking about the Ranger for a couple more minutes before we getting on to finally wrapping up the show with notes on scheduling. So we got the Wild Track. I'm pretty confident we're going to get the Wild Track for our market. What is confirmed, we'll get XL, we'll get XLT, we're going to get Lariat, we're going to get Platinum. I think pretty certain we're going to get Wild Track. And there's this new model in Europe called the Wild Track X. And in Europe, they're getting Wild Track X and Tremor. I'd be worried that we'd lose Tremor when you got something like the Wild Track, because they're kind of similar. They're off-road variants with special mags, wider stance, bigger tires, really cool grille design up here. What do you think of that grille design, Marie? That work for you?
I love it. It looks like the Maverick again. Yeah.
Squared off, but with kind of an X or H shape to it. That's very much an H shape.
Yeah, the bottom makes it, we see that it's an off-road car.
Yeah, you've got skid plates on the bottom. You've got tow hooks not being shown here, but obviously tow hooks, orange accents throughout. And
I love the letter Ranger on the hood.
Yeah, the Ranger lettering.
Touch.
And you also, we'll zoom in on those mags. You've got some pretty great looking mags. You've got this, what looks like a slidable, it's not an air wing for, you know, driving really quickly. And it doesn't slide based on your speed like a Porsche, how the back wing goes up based on your speed. It goes up actually to give you a lot of downforce, so that the vehicle doesn't, you know, blow away, or actually blow away. That would be under extreme speeds. But generally, the faster you go, if you've got wind underneath the vehicle, you always have wind underneath the vehicle, but the wind underneath the vehicle pushes the vehicle up, making you have less traction and control with your wheels. Now, the Porsche wing goes up in the back to give you downforce, putting so much weight down. It's like adding weight. Well, it is adding weight to the vehicle. It's just weight through air. This is going to be for, well, attaching various things, surfboards, recovery boards. So that's part of your Wild Track X package, and it's meant to be kind of like a halfway to the Raptor. But that's what the Tremor has always been. The Tremor has kind of been a baby Raptor. So I don't know where this is going to fit. Is it going to be, you know, Tremor and Wild Track as just different looking off-road packages, but then Wild Track X as being an extra, an extra to really the Tremor and the Wild Track? Well, it's definitely an extra to the Wild Track. And we should be getting the Wild Track. So Wildtrak X giving you extra off-road capability, 26 millimeters of additional ground clearance. Makes me think Tremor, Bilstein position sensitive dampers, unique 17-inch wheels wrapped in 265/70 R17 general grabber, AT3 all-terrain tires. I approve those tires, fantastic. And trail turn assist. So finally trail turn assist like we have on the Bronco and the F-150 and even Tremor Super Duties. The Wildtrak X is powered by a turbocharged Ford 2-liter EcoBlue 1.4 diesel in Europe. We will not be getting any diesels for the Ranger. I can say that's 99.9% certain. Just waiting for like an official confirm from Ford, but I really do not see that happening. And you know, we lost the diesel on the F-150, the 3-liter V6 diesel. And why? Sometimes people ask. Well, the hybrid, the Power Boost, does a better job. It has more power, just as good fuel efficiency, but a whole lot more power. We will see the return of the 10-speed transmission, fantastically smooth transmission. Look at those suckers in Europe, 202 horsepower. Shame, shame on them. Poor them. You're seeing that backwards. My apologies, folks. About 202 horsepower. So we're going to be getting the Ranger. We're going to be ordering them soon because remember, the factory production for the 23s was originally scheduled for July 17th. I think I was the first person on YouTube to bring that news to you. Got it from the Fleet Notes. And it was scheduled for July 7th, 2023, that they'd stop building 23s. And I said, well, logically, the 24 is going to start getting built like within 10, max 15 days after that. Everything's been pushed back now by 1 month. So it's going to be in August that they start building the new 2024 Ranger, meaning May, I would think at the latest June for orders, because in May we're going to be scheduling July and maybe a bit of August.
We have a problem here.
Oh, we do have a problem here.
The page should just switch, I guess.
Well, look at that. Well, look at you. Thank you so much for the tech help. Look at me, always making mistakes when it comes to tech. So that's your new Wildtrak X. Ordering coming up very soon, within 1 or 2 months, because in June, that would be pretty late for scheduling. That'd be the latest. Early June would be the latest that Ford would normally be scheduling out the month of August. So May, order banks have got to open up. And I actually know I had covered the actual date on the order banks in last week's episode, and I do believe it was May 17th, but I don't have that in front of me because last week's live notes are all on the ground, because when I'm done with a page, I have the tendency to be like, whoosh, next, throw that to my left. That's for paper to be reused later.